Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Novawar.
And MaximusBlack.
And we're bringing you the new series of When Cheese Fails, the new season. This is When Cheese Fails, Season 8, Episode 1, the Season of Bad Double Dates.
I let you do it solo because I would have screwed that up.
I'm impressed that I actually did it based on last season.
Oh.
I'm surprised you didn't say, like, bad lactates or some stupid shit like that. Fuck.
Sour with those bad lactates.
It's bad, like, you're breastfeeding and it's just, instead of milk, blood comes out. That's bad lactates right there.
Yeah.
It also
Okay,
sounds
well,
painful. Alright, anyway.
Let's jump into this shit.
Sure. Mr. MaximusBlack, hit me up with a sound for every name on the friggin' field right now, starting with point 0.
I don't have one.
Great. Celestial.
Celestial.
Lacquery.
Lacquery.
Bionic fetus. Alright, that's a good one. Okay, great. I swear to God, if you just said bionic fetus in a weird voice, I was gonna fucking kill you.
I was thinking about bionic fetus, but I thought I'd get one noise out of the deal.
Oh,
One
shit.
noise. Holy shit. Okay.
Alright, not bad.
Okay.
Alright, so what do we got happening, Mr. Black?
Oh.
I might actually have the hiccups
Okay.
now.
All right, we have a 2v2. This is something that we don't do, so it's gonna be pretty hard to like keep control of all the fail in one game. It's 2 Zerg versus what, Protoss and 2 Protoss. So we're probably gonna see early pools in which we are, and both Protoss players are opening up very, very standardly, getting their 1 gas. One of them's chucking down a second. And too bad we couldn't see the. Yeah, we can see them chat, can't we? Or is it we only get to see team chats now? How does that work?
I think we get to see both sides chat,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you only see the chat of the people who win. That would be really stupid, but also would sound like Blizzard, so I don't know. Hard to say. What I do know is that Celestial is putting down a hatchery aggressively fucking hiccups, aggressively forward. Out here on the
shit,
front of the
yeah,
ramp.
that's right up there. And here comes a bunch of drones. He's just slowly running back a couple of drones at a time. I think he took 1 too many. When I say 1 too many, I mean like 4 too many. And what is he going to do with these drones? Is he going to make spine crawlers on the creep, or is he going to make a hatch himself? Here comes some lings as well from Celestial.
Probably spine crawlers. I'm holding my breath. Fucking
Wow.
hiccups.
I hate hiccups. Hiccups are terrible.
Fuck. I sound like I'm holding in weed.
I would love to see you hide.
Jamak would be crazy, man.
Bob is doing his job. Bob is standing in between the 2 gateways, and those lings shall not pass. Now chrono boosting out another Bob, and a Steve the Stalker's on the way. And yes, there's the spine crawlers.
Spine crawlers.
Both players getting spine crawlers down here on the low ground. And is there? Yes, he does have 1 or 2 overlords now over this way, so he's going to be able to see high ground vision. And you know what? I'm kind of liking this play here by these 2 cheesers.
This
man.
is, well, it's a hell of a lot better than 10 pooling, which you see so damn frequently with double Zerg in 2v2, and so this is at least new.
Yeah. No, they're cheesing with teamwork, and they're still sort of macroing behind this. There's plenty of drones back at base. One of them's getting a layer. Metabolic boost finishing as well. Those overlords are going to have high ground, and now these gateways at the top of the ramp are going to be attacked here.
This is straight up dangerous.
This is working.
Is what this is. This is working well. I mean, there's only so many ways that you can get out of this. I mean, there is 2 Protoss here, so excuse me, like a cannon here or there will stop the advance eventually, but in reality, they're going to lose this front wall here pretty quick. They're going to lose these stalkers too if they're not careful. They really need something to deal with the overlords, because ultimately that's what's giving them vision.
Yeah, well, the Phoenix is now coming out, so he's going to be able to pick off these overlords. I would have much rather seen a Void Ray come out, because obviously the DPS is better, and he'd be able to pick off some of these spine crawlers in the low ground. And manor mining as well on that hatch down here at the base.
Sour.
This is just going all the way bad here for Team Protoss. One Immortal is out, a second one on the way. So when the second Immortal comes out with a Guardian Shield up, these Spine Crawlers ain't gonna last very long.
No.
But the creep is working its way inside their base right now too.
Absolutely. I mean, they're slowly getting pushed back, the wall that is. But as soon as this Overlord is dealt with, the Immortals can just basically sit up and do their work. They have to be careful of the Lings running in, but I would have liked to see more Lings. This is not a full wall. And so when you're getting Immortals like this, having a bunch of Zerglings run up there would be devastating.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we didn't see more Lings from one of them. Right now, the majority of these Spine Crawlers, actually they're pretty even, but the majority is in the favor of .0, and I feel like Celestial having the hatchery here instead of manor mining from here, which all these drones got picked off by this one hero stalker, would have been better to actually just produce a bunch of Zerglings, because now they have nothing to deal with these Immortals.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying there at the start about having a bunch of Lings ready. I mean, that's what you want. You want to get rid of that wall and then overrun them with Zerglings, and that's just not what was happening here, and this wall is slowly starting to fail. The only good thing about this is they're keeping the Protosses on one base, and also all their tech is now being noticed here by the opposing team, so they're going to be able to counter if they do it right. Now going up with some Lings, but it's just not enough. There's too many units. Even though Immortals are not that good against Zerglings, there's just not enough of them to overrun those Immortals. So it's just not going to happen. But down back at home here for the Zerg players, they're not really doing a whole lot. I mean, they're spending way too much time up there. They're losing everything, and I think this game is going to be a fail here.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. .0 with that lair really should have, like, at the very least, can you imagine if Mutalist came out on the field? They were forced into basically Immortal and Zealots with a couple of Phoenixes. Can you imagine the devastation of a bunch of Mutalists? Because really, they weren't building any more Spine Crawlers. The damage had been done. They were there. They won this game a while ago, really. They forced so heavily the hand of the Protoss players for the first half of this game here into Immortal and Zealots and Phoenix, that really any amount of Zerglings and Mutalisk would have been pretty much devastating. At least it would have allowed them to stay there longer, but now all of that is cleared up. The creep is now receding. They can pretty much do whatever the hell they want now, and you're going to see a Robo Bay go down here very shortly, and they're going to move right into all the good stuff, and that is the Giraffes. And now, back at home, like you were saying, they weren't really doing anything. They did for like you took notice earlier in the game where they were actually macroing up and doing stuff, and then they just stopped.
Yeah,
and now they just stopped.
The Phoenixes are down in the base, and there's nothing down here that can stop these. And so they're just going to be able to pick off all these Overlords. There's, what, one Spore Crawler picking off the Queens. And this might even just be GG. These guys might just rage quit out of this. Just no way you can stop these Phoenixes, or they're just going to deal enough damage to the point where you're just not going to come back from this. And here comes the Immortals and Zealots, and he's also going to drop down a proxy pylon down this way. So, GG. No,
we are now watching the slow and painful death of these two Zerg players. I have to hand it to them. That was a hell of a maneuver up there in the beginning, and they handled it so well. The only mistakes being that really Celestials should have been building Zerglings, and something should have been done with that layer a while ago. You can see that the Spire is now just about done. Way too late for that. Not going to be able to do anything. Would have been absolutely crippling earlier in the game, but now it's just going to be a slow and painful death as we watch these Phoenixes basically pick apart every single Overlord on the friggin' field, and building up all of these units down here for Bionic Fetus. Here comes the next round.
You know what? Since we know where this game is going, I gotta share this. I gotta share this dream that I had last night. It has I don't even think it's funny or anything like that, but it was just freaking weird.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, so I was in space. Okay, don't ask me
space.
Don't ask me why I was in space, but I was an astronaut, and I was coming home from a mission. I don't even know what the mission was, but for some reason, I was in this little pod, and once I hit our atmosphere and started going down towards Earth, the pod broke. So I had to jump out of the pod. So when I jumped out of the pod, I was talking to the commanders or whatever. I don't even think it was NASA, but I was talking to whoever gives me orders, and I was like, I need something to break my fall. So they told me to direct myself towards the ocean. So I started going towards the ocean, and what they did is they planted a big fucking like a blow up cushion type thing, like you know, yeah, like anyway, it was massive, and I was supposed to land on that so it would break my fall. So I'm going down and I'm going towards it and I'm going and I'm so close and I just miss it and I hit the water and I go down the water and I'm obviously I'm going super fast, right? So when I hit the water, I instantly go down to near the bottom of the ocean.
Wow, and that's instead of just disintegrating, you just keep going.
I just keep going.
Great.
So I'm looking at the top of the ocean and I can see the ass of the cushion. So I could tell that, you know, I could maybe swim up there. So my suit had a propeller on it, and there was only so much oxygen left in my shit. And basically this suit ran on oxygen. So not only could I breathe from it, but it also you use the oxygen to move the propellers. So I turned on the jets.
That sounds like a terrible system.
Yeah, no. So I'm not making this shit up, dude. This is a fucked up dream. So I turn on the jets, and I'm slowly like jetting myself up towards, and the ass of the cushion on the top of the ocean was getting closer and closer. And then I could hear my dispatch going, "You're gonna run out of oxygen. You need to turn off the jets. You need to turn off the jets." And I'm starting to panic because I'm like, I can't swim that far. I'm like fucking halfway down the ocean. I need these jets to be able to get me up there. He's like, "Well, you're gonna die. You're gonna run out of oxygen." So I turn off the jets and I start swimming, and it's just not working. I'm getting tired, and I can slowly see the ass of the cushion of the big thing at the top. I don't even know what it was, but it was slowly starting to go out of my vision, and then I end up falling to the very bottom of the ocean. So now, this is no joke. So now I'm walking around on the bottom of this ocean, and I'm looking around, right? And I'm scared. It's fucking like pitch black. I've got a flashlight. I'm looking around, and all I can see is these big fucking water snakes. And my dispatch was my dispatch was saying that they were silver snakes and they're deadly. So you gotta look over.
Now you're in the movie Anaconda.
Yeah, like this sounds like a straight up movie. When I woke up, I was like, when I woke up from this. Anyway, I'm gonna keep telling you the story. But when I woke up from this, I'm like, I should fucking write this into a book. So anyway, I'm at the bottom of the ocean. There's all these silver snakes, and you can see the electricity like going off them. They're like electric eels, right? It's pitch dark. And I'm running out of oxygen, and I have like this gauge in my suit where I can see it's down to like 25%, and my dispatch is starting to break up. I can't really hear what he's saying, and I'm looking around, and it's obviously the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing there. It's just.
Did you find Rapture?
No, I don't know, but I'm looking around, and the next thing you know I see a bunch of like huts, like underwater huts, like there was some sort of civilization. Years and years ago, it was like these homes, right?
Underwater Africa.
Underwater, yeah, it was like underwater huts. So I go over to these huts and I jump up on the ladder because basically you had to climb a ladder to get into a door in one of these huts. And I jumped up on the ladder because the snakes were attacking me at my feet. So I'm standing up there and I'm looking around and I'm fucking, I'm going crazy here. And my oxygen is now down to 1%, like just like that. And I know I'm going to die here soon. So then all of a sudden I see this light from like way back, like down in the ocean somewhere, and I see a forest, and everything turns right green and bright, and then I look to my right, and there's this guy in this old suit, and it looked like he used to like live in the civilization where I'm at, and he said, "Whenever you're ready to leave this earth, go into the forest," right? It was like what? It was like I was making my passing, right? It was like I was dying it, like it was like this was some sort of like God, and he was like, "It's your time" type thing. So I'm like, "No, I'm not ready to die yet. I'm not ready." And then there was this another person that showed up, and then there was this other path. And this other path, the city, the civilization was like bright and alive and vibrant. I could see people there, and it was like, "You can come with us. You can stay with us." And this guy was like, "No, your time on this earth is finished. Go to the forest." So I was like, "No." So I started swimming over / walking because it was weird. It was like I was underwater yet I could walk / swim. It was fucking weird. So instead I went over to this civilization. And then next thing you know my oxygen went to 100%, and I took off my helmet and I could now breathe. And then around me there was no longer water, and I was like in the civilization, and I started talking to this girl, and she was like, Anyway, I'm not gonna go through the whole dream because this goes on for a while. But long story short,
That's not the whole. How
no, man.
fucking long is this shit? Were you in like the Lord of the Rings extended edition? What the hell is this?
It's fucked up because I'll give you the gist of it. Towards the end, apparently, I had already died at that specific moment when I had my choice between one or the other, and I had to like finish these missions in my life or these connections that I had to make or some shit. I don't know. It was fucking weird. I don't totally understand it. But at the end of the day, I was laying in a bed in this white room, and that girl that I saw in the city that I was talking to was hovering over me, and she was like, "It's okay. You can let go now." And as soon as I did that, I couldn't breathe anymore. It was like my oxygen ran out, and then I woke up. And I was like fucking gasping for air when I woke out of bed, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, that was probably the weirdest fucking thing that I had ever went through. And this happened last night.
What the hell?
Yeah, and I could go on. Like I could tell you the whole fucking thing, but I won't do it. But that is sort of the gist of it. Like, I don't know. Apparently, I had already died, but I was alive after death, dealing with something. And then at the end, I still died the same way that I would have originally, or that I had originally died. But I had done something, and I still don't even really know what I did. But I know that I fulfilled something in my life that I needed to do before I died.
What the That's like some weird mixture of Finding Nemo, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Felix jumping from the Red Bull Stratos balloon,
Yep.
Snakes on a Plane, Sixth Sense.
Meets Lost.
Yep, Meets Lost. I would say Meets Lost is a good description of that. And then you ball all of that up, and you snort it,
Yeah,
and then you put a patch of acid on your tongue, and go to sleep, and then make a movie out of it. And that's what that.
I'm telling you right now, Adam, it was like, it was an intense, epic dream. It was like when I woke up, you know, I was sad that I had died, and it was like I was struggling in my sleep, but at the same time, I felt like I had accomplished something. It was so fucking weird, dude. It was like this epic movie in my dream.
That's so retarded.
And it was a long fucking dream. It felt like it lasted hours. It was that crazy. Anyway,
Inception.
I hope the saga continues tonight.
Inception.
And I'll have more of the story
Oh, holy hell, for another
to
time.
let you guys know.
That's
Yeah.
good. I look forward to hearing the continuation.
Somebody in chat said I need to copyright that shit.
Of that fever dream. Yeah. That was shit. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been this has been Novawar.
Wow, we're gonna have to have one hell of a thumbnail for that.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do for that.
Forest, city, water, snake, astronaut.
I'm gonna do it in like MS Paint too, so it looks like shit.
There you go.
Perfect.
The mind of MaximusBlack. Welcome to it. This was the very first episode of 2v2. It was a fairly good cheese, guys. Make sure you go there with your buddies, cheese it up, or go on the ladder. Tell your partner to cheese it up, and send us in some good stuff at lag.tv. Make sure you hit that like button, at least for the story.
Something happened in this game that you like.
Yeah.
And if not, then you lead a very, very, very unfortunate life. And you should probably take some acid so that you can have dreams like Jeff, because then your life will be exciting. Or physically try and do what he just described, because I feel like if you did that, it would probably be equally as exciting, although in reality, if you jumped from space and hit the water, you would just like fucking evaporate.
I know, but it was a dream, right?
But it's a dream, so...
It was so scary, man. Those snakes were scary as shit, dude. If you would see them.
You just need to pull a Samuel L.
Yeah.
Tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking ocean floor. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Peace.